So Aaron Rodgers finally speaks out since the Packers drafted Jordan Love, man. So do you guys think that was sincere at all, or you think he was saying something that he wasn't supposed to say?
Well, I mean, I thought he was pretty authentic. He said, I was surprised, but it is what it is. I think he took a step back because he said, I was in that situation when I was getting drafted. So he was being honest. But before the draft, he literally said, I want them to draft a skill player. And, that. And he also said the same thing when Jordy Nelson got cut or traded. I don't know if he got cut or traded to Oakland. I think he got cut. But regardless, his thing, I literally heard it on the radio show. He literally said, why are they not coming to me asking me, should we retain our quarterbacks coach and Jordy Nelson? And so at this point, I think he just expects Green Bay to do whatever they want to do. And he's not surprised very much at this point. And he's disappointed. If I'm Aaron Rodgers, though, I don't want to be in Green Bay. I don't know why he is still in Green Bay. I feel like if you're not putting the talent around him to win now, I would want out. And I think if I'm Rodgers, I want to go to Vegas or I want to go play for Belichick in New England. I just don't understand why he's still there, to be honest, because they haven't put enough around you and you're making these NFC title games. To make the next step, you got to get help around you. And I don't like what they're doing. And I think at this point, if I had to predict the future, first off, I don't think he's going to retire a Green Bay Packer. I think he will leave the next time he's a free agent. But if he doesn't, I think he's going to end his career, unfortunately, with one ring. And it's a shame because he should have more than one ring.
Wow. So Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he has done the most with the least. But it's expected now. I mean, now they're looking at, okay, we got 2 years. Our window is extremely tight now. This year we're getting a little bargain out of Aaron Rodgers. Next year we're gonna probably have to pay him about upwards of 20, 25 mil. The next year is another upwards of 20, 25 mil. And I think the final year they gotta give him 30. Bottom line, I can see how he feels because you haven't put any talent around him. But from a managing perspective, they're trying to get the future. They're literally thinking about, hey, look, Aaron is 35 or 36 years old.
36.
He's 36 years old. He's got 3. He'll probably play well beyond his 40s. But when is his decline? Yes, he got us to the NFC Championship game, but when is his decline? And we don't want to start with a rebuild at all. We just upgrade. If you look at the Green Bay Packers defense, their defense, minus the fact that they can't stop the run to save their life, is pretty decent. 2 really good pass rushes in Preston Smith and I can't remember the other Smith's first name.
Zadarius
Smith. Your secondary is pretty good, up and coming. You just got to patch up the run game. Your offense, I mean, dude, you have like 5. I mean, not 5. You have 2 really good running backs in the backfield. Your wide receivers outside of your number one, they're pretty mediocre, but I mean they're okay. They're livable.
But Jasper, in that deep of a draft, at wideout, they should have drafted a wideout.
They should have, but let's think about this for a second, okay? This was a quarterback. This draft was deep at quarterback as well. They could have drafted a quarterback later, but they thought to themselves, look, man, if we don't get his replacement soon, right? If we don't get him in this draft, we're probably not getting him in 2 other drafts. So I can see both sides of the equation. Is he upset on the low? Oh, he's pissed, and he's probably going to go off, and he's probably going to throw for about 4,500 yards, 45 touchdowns, maybe 4 picks at the most, and probably get him to the NFC Championship game again, or the playoffs again. I'm gonna just say the playoffs. I'm gonna just be kind and say the playoffs. But either way it's gonna go, he's gonna piss him. He's pissed, and he's gonna prove to management, hey, I still got it. But at the end of the day, the management's gotta look like, hey, look, we got another team. Look, we either gonna rebuild, or we gotta figure out a way to continue, continue our greatness. And remember, when Aaron Rodgers became the starter, he wasn't that good in the beginning. He took a lump or two, and then they got it going. Then he had maybe one bad year, and then they got it back going again. And I think they're looking at Jordan Love as the heir apparent. And they knew, like, hey, if we miss this year, we're probably not getting one for at least 2 years. So I can't be mad at him.
I'm gonna say this to piggyback off of you. Matt LaFleur was a rookie head coach last year. He didn't, Aaron Rodgers was not his guy. I'm not saying that, Aaron Rodgers shouldn't be his guy, but it's not his guy. And if they believe, now it's not what X believes, because we already know how X feels. But if they believe Jordan Love is the next Patrick Mahomes, then you damn right you better take him in the first round. If you believe that, if you believe he's the next Patrick Mahomes, you have to take him.
True. What do you believe? True. What do you believe?
I think he's a bust. I do. I will say this. I do think he went to the right situation where he can learn, and I'm glad Aaron Rodgers even came out and said, I do think, to answer your question, Keo, I think he was sincere. I think he understands it's not Jordan Love's fault. I will say this is Jordan Love's best opportunity to become a good quarterback, learn from a guy like Aaron Rodgers. I will say that could save him. I think to mend this for Aaron Rodgers, and I know what I'm about to say, you guys might lose it, but to kind of mend the situation, but also have Jordan Love and it still be a good situation, I think you got to go out there and sign somebody. And I know I'm about to really open the floodgates. I think you go outside Antonio Brown. I say you bring Antonio Brown in, give him Antonio Brown, Devontae Adams, find out what you got. Look, I'm not even an Antonio Brown guy. I can tell you, I didn't like a lot of things he did, but if you can make that work for the next 2 to 3 years, then bring in Jordan Love, it takes care of the Aaron Rodgers, end of the road with Aaron Rodgers, and then you slowly bring in Jordan Love. Aaron Rodgers can't be mad anymore. He's going to have to get in the right chemistry with Antonio Brown. But I think if they get Antonio Brown, they're right back in contention to contend for the NFC and possibly the Super Bowl if he has his head on straight. Now, that's a huge if. But at this moment, box office just said, which I agree. What are you going to do to keep Aaron Rodgers? Because Aaron Rodgers, I can understand if he wants to leave and go to a place like Vegas. This is your one chance to mend this. And I think if you bring in Antonio Brown, look, Aaron, we know we didn't draft nobody, and this is why. We're going to bring in Antonio Brown. Let's see a workout. I'm not even saying sign him right off the back. Let's bring him in for a workout. Let's see how you guys work together, and let's see where we can go from there.
How long do you keep Jordan Love on the bench?
Oh, I can see him on the bench for 3 years. Easily. He's not ready. He's not ready right now.
If I'm the Packers, I keep him on the bench for 7 years. He ain't nowhere near ready. I got 2 predictions to make. They will not sign Antonio Brown, and I haven't even done my predictions for the NFL. They are not making the playoffs. It's going all downhill for the Packers, and he will finish his career somewhere else.
I actually agree with Yvonne. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm just saying, if you're gonna try to mend it and make it work, bring in somebody that can actually play ball. We know Antonio Brown, if his head's on right, which that's a huge if, is arguably one of the best receivers in football. You pair it up with Devontae Adams, you're talking about probably the best combination of receivers in the NFL, hands down. So that's what I would do. If I'm Matt LaFleur, I got to try to make this situation right.
Even Favre came out and said he's going to finish his career somewhere else. I think it's all bad for Green Bay.
Keo, what you think? Was he sincere?
This is what I suggest we do. So we haven't planned. So we haven't planned an MBS trip for a while. The last time we were in DC, I couldn't sleep. You know why?
Oh!
I definitely did enjoy the cake, so I appreciate that. But we haven't had a trip in a while, so I suggest we meet up in DC. We drive all the way to Wisconsin in Green Bay. We kidnap Aaron Rodgers, take him to Jasper's basement, and demand him to have a trade because he needs to get the hell out of Green Bay. The way they're treating him right now is disrespectful right now. And
you just want him in Dallas. That. You just want him in Dallas. Don't start your stuff like that.
So
just be honest, man.
But check this out. But check this out. You look at the veterans that's left in the game. The like as far as the cream of the crop. When you look at Breeze, Brady, Rodgers. Okay, we're gonna start with Tom Brady. Tom Brady, he goes to New England. What Tom Brady wants? He wants an offensive lineman. He gets one of the best offensive linemen in the entire draft. He requests to bring back Rob Gronkowski. He gets that. They have Cameron Brate. They get to keep OJ Howard. They got those two wide receivers with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. So Tampa Bay has taken care of their veteran quarterback, which is Tom Brady. We go to New Orleans with Drew Brees. What does Drew Brees want? He wants another wide receiver to go alongside with Michael Thomas. You go get Emmanuel Sanders. So that's been taken care of. Okay, so let's go to Aaron Rodgers right now. They went to the NFC Championship game. What did Green Bay do to take care of them? They didn't get no type of wide receiver at all. Their wide receivers outside of Devontae Adams is Jake Kumaro,
Devin Funches,
Evan Lazard, and then
terrible.
Okay, you go to free agency and
Funches got bricks for him.
I mean, Taysom Hill has more receptions than him, man. Are you kidding me? And then I'm gonna bring it back to the NFC Championship game. So the Niners go to the NFC Championship game. They highly improved because they added the defensive player that they obviously the pick that they traded away. They added Kinlaw, and then they get the wide receiver that they wanted, which was Brandon Ayuk. So that was huge, and that definitely improved. Green Bay didn't do nothing to improve. They lost their linebacker, Blake Martinez. They signed the Browns linebacker, which they don't know what they're going to get from him. So it's not just been a bad draft for Green Bay. It's been a bad free agency for Green Bay. They also lost their wide receiver, Geronimo Allison also. So I'm like, dude, what the hell are you really doing, man, with Green Bay? If I was Aaron Rodgers, I would get the hell out of Green Bay because the way I'm being treated right now, if I'm the franchise quarterback, the guy that's the extension to the team, the guy that's been carrying the weight for the last decade, come on, what are you really doing right now? And we don't know how sure they are with Jordan Love right now. Like they could have passed on the quarterback this year, and they could went to the following draft, because I'm pretty sure the following draft there's going to be a quarterback. There's going to be a quarterback just like Jordan Love that nobody that everybody wants to hype up that people are not high on, and he's just that type of quarterback this year. There's always a quarterback every single year that people like Mel Kiper and Todd McShay gasses up, and that's bad. This is really bad, man. This is going to be a huge disaster for Green Bay.
Dude, next year's draft is going to be a quarterback outside of I always call him Sunshine, Trevor Lawrence, and Fields from he went to Georgia. He goes to Ohio State. Justin Fields, who's at Ohio State. That's it. They got scrubs.
Miles Brennan, remember that name? Oh, he might declare early. Woo! Look at his face. Look at his like they face. He said, "Bob, you don't want to talk to us no more." Oh my God!
Yvonne, you see this? Come on, man.
Woo-hoo!
Next
Big
topic.
Bad Miles Brennan. Let's go.
Topic.
That's what I'm saying. But anyway,
right.
but it's not a quarterback plentiful draft come next year, and I see why they did what they did. Again, I think they felt like, yo, we gotta make the selection. I don't like it. I think they should have gotten another wide receiver, but their thinking was, hey, look, let's go for our future. Let's go for Gusto.
Yep.
We did it once. Let's do it again.
This situation is nowhere close to what Brett Favre did, because with Brett Favre, he was contemplating every single year if he was going to retire or not. With Aaron Rodgers, he hasn't mentioned one word about retiring. He wants to play in his 40s like a Tom Brady and Drew Brees.
Yeah.
So I just see this is nowhere close when it comes to Brett Favre, because I see a lot of people are comparing and measuring with Brett Favre and what he did back then. But this is two different situations, nowhere close.
Hey, true. You know what I think, man? Whenever you talk, like Keo's energy is fairly like cool, calm, collected. But like lately, since like this draft ended, Keo's been like, his energy goes through the roof when you talk about Aaron Rodgers, right? And I think a lot of that is because he wants Aaron Rodgers that bad. And if Aaron Rodgers goes to Dallas, you ain't never going to hear the end of Keo. Keo gonna come out of his mouth and be like, he's a bad man. Watch.
Oh my God!
And on top of that, he went to Cal, by the way. So I gotta support my Bay Area guys like Aaron Rodgers, Jared Goff.